America first. Any questions, President Z? He showed up today. Like that anymore, okay? You know, there may be some differences. I know, you want certain things. But President Trump was the diplomat, wasn't it? You probably have seen the highlights by now, and we're going to show you all of them as well. But that event actually lasted for 50 minutes. It's a long time, and most people haven't bothered to look at, say, the 44 minutes or so where they weren't fighting, but it was still very, very interesting. And Zelensky, every step of the way, is looking for trouble. He's not respectful. He is not grateful. And he's needling Trump, right? He's undermining. Trump says something, he comes back and pushes and undermines the whole damn thing. All of that could have waited until they went behind the scenes, to sit at the table over lunch. No, Zelensky had to turn on the attitude every chance he got. Well, it wasn't necessary, but he asked for it, and President Trump gave it to him. Now, first, I want to show you just how diplomatic I believe President Trump was throughout their Oval Office meeting.
Your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters. And you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough.
It's enough. That's the part that doesn't look like President Zelensky wanted to hear. And the disrespect comes early, and in my opinion, it's quite clear.
Somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when we get when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that, and an honor to have you. And please, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for the invitation. And really, I hope that this first document, will be a first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine.
All right. You saw the thank you for the invitation, for the invitation. For the invitation, not for everything else that's been going on. For the invitation. That's a dig. And everything from this point forward is demand after demand after demand. And when President Trump is speaking, if you look at him, half the time he's making faces, rolling his eyes, sighing, trying to butt in when the question isn't directed to him. But from Trump, throughout President Trump, they are words of a wise leader who hates war. Who in the world could really take issue with this sentiment? Take a look.
This, to me, is one of the most important things because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak, and I don't want to have that. Think of the parents, whether they're in Russia or Ukraine, think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
What an interesting and almost unheard of thought. What about the parents of all of these young men who have been killed? I never heard anybody in the Biden administration talk about the families of those who perished on the Ukrainian side or the Russian side. And of course, President Zelensky just jumps in. Well, they came into our territory. We had to kill them, and we had to make sure that they had their parents, bum luck. But it wasn't the time. It wasn't the place. Keep going.
I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important.
Interesting, huh? A peacemaker. They say this man wants war. They say this man is a barbarian savage, doesn't know our norms. He wants to be known as a peacemaker, and everything he's doing shows that. It's remarkable. And somehow he's the man who gets out of line. That's not true. That's not true. I'm proving it to you. Next.
If I can. Yeah, so please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will not never work because I'm like a president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke to me.
No, you were the president.
You
were the president during.
He never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president.
No, see, you got that wrong. He wasn't the president in 2016. He was elected in late 2016, became the president in 2017. What is he talking about? And, you know, we're talking about peace, and he's saying that ceasefires don't work. Well, sooner or later, if you want peace, there's going to be a ceasefire. And now that America is involved like this, you got the president of the United States right there who wants to see this thing brought in for a landing. It's unlike Obama, who had no clout with the Russians. It's not unlike anything else you've ever seen, pal. All right, I think this is it. Is this it? Game on. How did this actually start? You got to understand, all these little things are happening throughout. He didn't thank him. He thanked for the invitation. And then he challenges J.D. Vance. And then, well, it's on. And it's beautiful.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
even
entire
today,
meeting, you said thank
even
you.
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I answer?
No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this.
You've done a lot of talking. Enough. A couple of things there. Now, there are people I respect who say that maybe J.D. Vance was upstaging President Trump, and President Trump was annoyed by that. I personally don't see it that way. When J.D. Vance was speaking, the president was looking at Zelensky, and I think he liked what he was hearing. I loved what I was hearing. And then he comes back, hey, you say loudly, you speak loudly, that doesn't mean anything. Just, maybe there's a language issue, obviously, a little bit. And he's got you here, Z, about going to Pennsylvania in 2024. All right, we didn't circle it for you, but if you look back behind Governor Shapiro, he's shaking the hand of, who was that, Senator, the soon-to-be ex-Senator, what the hell's his name again? Anyway, he's no longer in the Senate. There's Zelensky with a bunch of Democrats in swing state Pennsylvania in 2024 in the fall. What the hell is he doing there? Getting involved in domestic politics, which is where he should not be. All right? I mean, Democrat. What is that guy's name again? Scranton, Leahy. Damn. All right. Doesn't matter. So we have that. Ooh. And we have the culmination of the showdown.
You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through the stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on out here. I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war. But
you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with
matter
me.
For you what,
that wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
That was with
Obama.
President. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
When Obama gave sheets, did anybody think for a moment that was a different word, potentially? Sheets, like bedding, I get it, and javelins, anti-tank missiles. That's what President Trump gave. You know, it's interesting to me. President Trump is accustomed to talking like this because he's often under attack from the media, from the establishment, from everybody taking it from all sides. He hasn't had to do this that much in his second term, but during the campaign, during his first term, this is not foreign language. This is not foreign territory, right? Some of us, we get into an argument where, like, we have like one argument every like 5 years. Some of us, we just don't know how to act, and it feels totally different. This is his natural habitat, and all that training, it's paying off in so many ways. It has for his entire life, actually. All right, a couple of other little things here. What is Zelensky wearing this time? A sweatshirt, right? Okay. He's in the Oval Office, and he's not wearing a collared shirt. He's not in combat, okay? That's a problem. And he's been showing up like this for a long time in various places with no collar.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.